NAPA got my little twin cylinder air compressor in today, so I swung by and picked it up on the way to pick the kids up from school. Let's open her up and see what's in here real quick. What matters on my phone, guys. The box is bigger than I expected when I picked it up, also heavier. A little bit of boxception here, box within a box. Packing material. Alright, we got the bag. Bottom of the box has a technically 4-page manual, I guess. Just gives you some information. 300 liters per minute. I did the math. It's about 10 CFM. For anybody that cares and that doesn't speak metric. And the pressure gauge goes up to 150 psi. Heavy duty storage bag, 60 millimeter cylinder diameter, maximum current 90 amps. That's pretty significant. Max working pressure is 150. Continuous use at 40 psi is 15 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Somebody can do the math on the duty cycle on that one. I'm not good at math. Pretty big bag. It's probably, in my case, since I'm running stock size tires on everything, this is probably not something I'm taking, just throwing in the Jeep for trail use. Right now, I kind of have maybe a plan to mount it in the CJ, under the dash inside the cab. But we'll see. This thing's definitely bigger than I thought it would be. Kind of expecting it to be smaller. So we've got the airline here. I want to say this is like 21 feet. This is not a standardized connection. The other reviews that I've looked at, that is some kind of Japanese standard connector. So if you want to run one of your like spider setups for airing up multiple tires at one time, you will need to come on here and change your hose out, which looks like you can pull this cover and change it out for whatever connector that you want. No 12 volt connections, battery connections at 90 amps. I wouldn't doubt it. No way you're plugging this into a cigarette lighter and not starting a fire or blowing a bunch of fuses. The hose has a built-in gauge on the tire side. Goes up to 150 psi or 1000 kPa if you speak metric. Hose looks decent enough quality. It's got some kind of silicone coating or something on the outside of it that's coming off on my hands. You see the black stuff coming off of it there. Has a short pony connection on the end, so you don't have to leave this line hooked up to it all the time. The CJ5 is behind the camera, and this tire on my driver's side over here is probably down around 20 pounds or so, so I'm going to hook up to the CJ5 and fill that up real quick. Alright, so I double checked with a known good quality tire pressure gauge, and that gauge on that line is actually reading probably 4 pounds lower than what the known good gauge is. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the compressor. It's only got to air up about 3 psi, which this gigantic thing will probably do it pretty quick. It's pretty loud. I clicked it on just to see what it sounded like. Definitely sounds like it moved some air. So here we go. So that actually, I'll check the timing, I guess. That actually aired that tire up from about 26 psi to 35 psi in that short amount of time. That gauge is not anywhere, at least on this tire or this specific unit, is not anywhere near correct. So that gauge is useless. So if you got rid of that hose, you're probably not out too much. The compressor definitely works pretty dang good. And that was with the CJ not running. That was direct to battery. So you probably get slightly better performance with it hooked up in the vehicle running. Comes with a little baggie of extras here to air up basketballs and whatnot. Rubber mounted to this tray here. If I do what I want to do with it on the CJ, it's going to wind up hard mounted under the dash where the heater core used to be. And I'll probably get rid of this tray and bolt it to my own brackets under the dash. So we'll see what happens with it long term. It's definitely overkill for what I do. But if you got a Jeep on big tires, this might be the hot ticket if you don't want to spend ARB money, which there's a YouTube video floating around out there. This thing smoke checked the ARB twin compressor for a fraction of the cost. That is one test. Somebody's probably got something different. So do what you want to do with your money, but I don't have ARB money. So if I had a Jeep with big tires, I'd probably go with this thing. Y'all have a good night.